Hi, my name's Matt Frost. I'm the marketing manager for ARB 4x4 accessories.
Hi, I'm David Brickhill from Kaymar 4-wheel drive.
G'day, my name's Alan Johnson. I'm from a company called Piranha Off-Road Products. And this little tiny beast thing here is my truck.
I bought my first 4-wheel drive about 16 years ago. My wife and I did a 6-month trip around Australia, and in my opinion, the only vehicle to do that in is a 4-wheel drive. It was an old short wheelbase Land Cruiser. It was pretty old, pretty bashed around, but that thing took us everywhere for about 6 months, right the way around the country. It was an awesome trip, and having done that, I would never ever buy anything but a 4-wheel drive again.
The first 4-wheel drive vehicle was a Subaru, high-low ratio. It was a lovely beige colour. We put a bull bar on the front of it, we stuck some 31s underneath it, changed CVs regularly, put a 2-inch body lift in it. It used to cost me $100 from here to Queensland to go away, so it was probably the most economical motoring I've ever had in my life.
Many years ago, I was out in my 2-stroke, 3-cylinder Suzuki, going down quite a steep hill. Now, for those of you who remember Suzuki 2-strokes, they had drum brakes. Now, the other interesting characteristic of 2-stroke Suzukis is they have absolutely no compression braking. So therefore, if the brakes get wet or hot or fade, and you leave it in low-range gear, you've got no stopping power. My most terrifying and memorable experience is going down a particularly steep, nasty hill, going faster and faster and faster, thinking I was going to die, thinking the pistons are going to explode out the top of the engine and blow the spark plugs out through the bonnet, because it was just revving so hard. At the bottom of that hill I got there, and I think I must have lost about 1 kilo from perspiration and sweat and fear, and it absolutely taught me about picking right lines and thinking and looking where you go before you go. So that 2-stroke Suzuki taught me a lot.
I'd have to say my most memorable 4-wheel drive experience would have been in my first 4-wheel drive in our short wheelbase Land Cruiser. Hadn't done a lot of 4-wheel driving back then, and we came to a section of track and I'd never seen anything like it. There was deep ruts, bog holes, mud, and I really questioned whether or not this vehicle that I had was going to get through there. Anyway, we locked in the hubs, put it into low range, and the thing just sailed through. I was blown away at the capability of this vehicle.
I suppose the most memorable 4-wheel drive experience would be my first outback trip. I did it in a 62 series Land Cruiser. I had it all sort of set up, looked magnificent. We did a trip out to Townsville, then across back out to Longreach, and then we went from there up to Mount Isa. Seeing rains, I suppose, from Winton that hadn't rained out there for 18 months, and everything was just absolutely covered underneath water, and it was sensational to see. So I suppose the beauty of the outback is it can be 40 degrees one day and it can be absolutely 150 mil of rain overnight, and just the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Now, I've been very fortunate over the years to do a lot of 4-wheel driving around the world. I've been to places like Africa, North America, and of course right around Australia. My #1 destination that I've been anywhere would have to be the Kimberley region of Western Australia. I reckon that is the ultimate destination for the 4-wheel driver. The Kimberley has stunning scenery, fantastic fishing, great 4-wheel driving, and sunsets that you just don't get anywhere else in the world, I reckon.
Favourite 4-wheel drive destination would have to be the desert. Love the desert. I reckon it's the most magical place in the world. I think to feel like you're in the desert is just, it's peaceful, it's calm. I've done a couple of desert trips now, especially with my kids. The sunsets are magnificent. You see wildlife that you don't expect to see. I think it's a constant challenge, and you can go over one sand dune and feel like you're in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody else around. So I think the desert and what it has to offer is probably the most magical places in Australia that you can go.
My favourite 4-wheel destination, I'm not telling you, because it is my favourite 4-wheel destination, and you all want to go there and spoil it for me. But I'll tell you what, it's in Gippsland, and it's sort of at the back of certain areas.
To me, the best bit about 4-wheel driving is getting out of the city and getting into the remote parts of this fantastic country. You simply can't do that in a normal 2-wheel drive car.
It's a chance to get to places that nobody else gets to in the great outdoors that we live in, and that's the great part of 4-wheel driving, and being able to do those sorts of things.
It's an opportunity to take your mind away from all the things that might be stressing you. When you're on a steep, dangerous track, you're not thinking about whose bill you didn't pay or what's happening or your bank card or what the kids are up to. You're thinking about, where am I going? Your mind is totally focused on what you're doing and when you're out there. So it's a very, almost Zen type experience. It's a wonderful thing to enjoy. is just look around us now. We're in the Victorian bush. It's a blue sky. We've got these wonderful tracks to go playing on. There's lovely trees. You can't smell it, but it's this great smell of the gums and the fresh air. It's an awesome experience. So if you haven't got into it, get into it. If you are in it, spend the time to smell the roses, smell the bush and enjoy it. It's fantastic.